I'm Gaurav Raj. I'm the head of partnerships and product here at Reworked.ai.
My name is Fred. I'm one of the co-founders at Reworked.ai.
I'm Hunter. I'm a business development manager and strategic partnerships manager at PCM Integrations.
The topic we're talking about today is direct mail. We all get direct mail at home, right? 80 billion pieces serviced by the USPS annually. 50% crap. So you got 30 to 40 billion pieces going out. And ever since starting this company, I've become a student of direct mail. I look at it in my mailbox and I try to understand what their motivation is, what they were trying to say, how it could have been done better. And I don't know about a lot of the viewers here and what Gaurav and Hunter would think, but the vast majority is missing the mark. It's spending money. It's not getting to the right house. It's not getting to the right person. It's not saying the right thing. And a lot of people will blame, well, direct mail doesn't work. No, that's not right. Direct mail is still the cheapest, most effective way to get your message into the right person's hand. But you have to be smart about it. You can't just spray and pray. You can't just, well, I'll do this. No, think about it. And one of the things that we really love about PostcardMania and Hunter and the team there is they're thoughtful, right? Everything down to how it goes out, how it gets shipped out, what the design looks like, what the content, what are you trying to sell? It's not just a printing company. It's so much more. So there's a quote that I just saw yesterday, and I hope he's okay with me saying it. So Piers, who's the CEO of Eagleview, having a conversation on LinkedIn about a webinar we were doing yesterday with Roofer's Coffee Shop in Eagleview. And one of the things he said was the dollars have to go further.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very quick thing and easy to say, but he's right. Every business, especially in the trades, especially in the roofing business, they want their dollars to go further, right?
Yeah.
If they look at what they spend on roofing material, they're looking for the best quality at the best price, delivered at the right time. They want teams out there that are trained, efficient. They don't want 20 guys on the roof or people. They want 6. They want the right number. And, part of what we're going to be talking about today is making the dollars go further in your customer outreach, being smarter about not only where and who you're sending it to, but how and what's on that letter or postcard. And, I was teasing Hunter earlier over a cup of coffee, it's PostcardMania, but it's really mania, right?
Yep.
You guys do so much more than postcards.
We do.
Right? It was the second question I asked him when we met a while ago was, you do more than postcards, right? He's like, we do letters, social media, the whole approach to a customer. So
we have the intelligence side, Fred, from Reworked, and we have the execution side from PostcardMania.
Yep.
And let's talk about the elephant in the room. I got this question from a roofer, and he told me that he spends about $150 a day on paid marketing. And just yesterday, he got 2 phone calls. One was a person looking for something very different, not a roof. And the second one was someone who's asking a quote for a shed. So if you really look at it, it's $75 for a coat shed, right? So do you hear this, Fred? Do you hear these kind of things every day?
So yes. And when we were launching the roofing opportunity product, we were intentional of staying away from the word, I don't even want to say it, lead.
Right.
It's a 4-letter word, right? And it's a 4-letter word because there are many companies that are treating them as a commodity, overselling it, and potentially putting clickbait out there to get people to click on something and put some information, and then they're selling it. In the Northeast, in New Jersey, roofers are spending upwards of $700 for a lead that came in via Meta or Alphabet. And if I'm spending $700 on something like that, I want to show up at the house and talk turkey with price and product and things like that. and they're just getting either a phone number or an address, and they're having their, them and everybody else are out there chasing that poor homeowner that inadvertently or is questioning their decision to click and put their name and their phone number on there, because now they're getting 5, 6, 7 phone calls, and they're just so frustrated that they're getting inundated with these solicitation for the business that they opened the can of beans on it, can of worms.
Right on. Yeah, I hear you on that. But Hunter, isn't that the same problem with direct mail? Because we've had roofers tell us that they've spent about $25,000, $30,000 sending direct mail to 40,000 homes, but they've not seen that sort of response rate. So what is something that they need to do different to maximize their direct mail?
I would say one thing is, I mentioned it earlier, is definitely it starts with who are you going after, right? What kind of data do you have? Which is obviously where Reworked.ai does a great job in making sure you're going after the right type of people, which I'm sure we'll dig into more here in a minute, and Fred will elaborate on. But you got to have the right people, because you're sending 40,000 mailers. Are you just blasting it out to everybody and anybody, or are we sending 40,000 targeted to the right exact audience who your A plus buyers? And then if you are, then that's where you start to see a return compared to just spraying it out and hoping you get somebody, right? You might get renters in that if you're just spraying it out. Right. Those renters are obviously not going to need a new roof. They're never going to think about that. So you need to make sure, very basic, you're going after homeowners. And then it comes down to the message and the card.
Right.
That's a very, very key element that a lot of people overshoot. They think, oh, I can make it, or my admin can make it, and they just go grab some kind of random card and put some
Google
stuff
it,
together.
Try to get a picture of it.
Or use AI now, because there's AI.
Yeah.
They try to come up with something, and yes, can it work? 100%. But is it set up as successful as possible? Not quite. And that's where we really step in at PostcardMania and PCM Integrations as a holistic marketing company, right? Not just direct mail, but holistic marketing in general. Right. So one of the things we have is the 12 elements of a direct mail piece over the 27 years and over 113,000 plus clients, where we've compiled data to know what those 12 elements are to give you the most success. Some of them are basic, right? A clean eye trail, a call to action, obviously, some type of enticing offer, but there's a lot of other elements that go into it that people miss, right? Some of it can be consistency, take that 40,000, instead of sending it one time in a blast, why don't you break it down into 10,000 and send it out 4 times over a sequence? You're going to have a much higher response rate with that than just sending it one time. Statistically, you want to do 3 to 5 mailings if you can. So that's where taking your budget, breaking it down, and then having that repetition comes in.
Is it 3 to 5 mailings or 3 to 5 touches? Right. So
great question.
I've read that an average consumer, if they're going to see a logo 3 times, they will internalize that they know that company. And so, one of the things that you guys do at PCM is, you do a mailer, you hit them on social, right? And, I always, you see roofers with their branded trucks and these types of things. So what you're saying is more of a nurturing, right? Don't expect to just spend this money, get it out there, and then stand by the phone. There's got to be a bit of a intentionality in how you're going to do it. And if we're talking to roofers, their core competency, what they're really good at, is selling and putting on a roof. Right. And I love
Doing
it.
the trade.
Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't put a roof on.
Not a chance.
And I'm not going to design a mailer. Right. When you're talking about that 12-point plan for a mailer, right? That's important. Line of sight, or line of trail. So you want the right people. And one of the other things that I really like about what PCM is doing is you can do a self-serve. You can design. You can use some templates, some proven tactics that work. Or you can talk to your team, and there must have been, 15, 16 designers in there that we were looking and talking with, maybe more?
Yeah, there's more. That was just one part of the
area. These are people, and we're not talking thousands of dollars to have something that's built for your company, and that, number one, you can be proud of, right? Because if you're a business owner and you're putting something on the street, you want to be proud of it. You want it to look good, represent who you are as a company.